Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As you can tell, I have lost my voice, but I wanted to do this video before I forget about doing it, so I might as well just go ahead and do it now and go ahead and get it out of the way. That being said, we are going to get into my 2026 cosplays that I'm planning on doing in 2026. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm glad that I'm also doing another talking video because I think I've done mostly just like a day in my life walking around Japan and like cosplay videos. So sitting down and doing nothing, it's kind of relieving. Just talking to the phone, it's just kind of relieving. So that being said, I have about 8 cosplays that I have planned for next year. Some of them are going to be for conventions that I want to go to. Some of them are just going to be just a make. And then I have a couple that I'm going to be doing for Halloween. My Halloween costumes, because I like Halloween is my favorite holiday. That being said, I don't plan on doing like really big cosplays. Um, because I like to go out and party during Halloween, because who doesn't? That being said, I don't really want to do anything that requires or restricts movement and restricts me from going to parties. So it won't be that big of a cosplay. But yeah, my list of cosplays in my handy dandy notebook. In order, we have. I'm taking a look at it now. I don't know what I wrote. We have Simiyu from Gachiakuta. We have Psyche K. We have Inosuke. We have Ryusui from Dr. Stone. We have Hinata from Haikyuu. We have Sinkyu from Dr. Stone. And the last ones will be my Halloween costume, which is Gojo and Granny Seiko. And so I'm just going to go down the line in order of the cosplays that I'm doing from January to the last one. My first one is going to be Simiyu from Gachiakuta. I want to do Engine, but I feel like Simiyu, I resonate with her a little bit more. And I don't know, maybe it's the glasses. I don't know. But my thought for Simiyu is I'm going to keep the same outfit she has. However, like I've said multiple times before, I don't know if I've said it here, but I know I've said it on TikTok. I'm not a silver person, I'm a gold person. So rather than using the silver accessories, and especially with like the logo, it's silver for the cleaners, I'm gonna make it copper. Because I feel like in the underground and it's like a wasteland, I don't think you would have gold. And if you do, it is not going to be that much gold for you to have and make those symbols with. So I'm going to replace it with copper. Her glasses are also gold, like when they glow, but I'm going to make it copper just because I feel like that's like the next best thing. Like it's like right under gold. Like if I were to wear something, it would be like gold, then copper, never silver. Right? It's going to be a warm tone. So yeah, her outfit will still be the same. I will just have it in copper. And my plan for her is I don't know if you guys ever seen it, but it's a popular place in Kabukicho in Shinjuku where you would see a lot of cosplayers. Or a lot of people dressed in costume, who would be hanging out from like a window of a cafe area. And I want to go there and take pictures there. And I really like that building itself because it kind of is similar to the environment that they're in like the wasteland area. So I want to take pictures there, and some other places. But I think the main place that I want to take pictures and videos is in that area. I have to figure out another place to take other pictures for CBU, but we'll see what I can find. But right now, I'm just thinking about that one area in Shinjuku. The next one I will be doing, I think, is Psyche K. Psyche K is someone I've been wanting to do since I've watched Psyche K. I think I watched Psyche K for the first time in high school, maybe. I think it was either high school or community college. I can't remember which one. All I know is I liked it. My favorite character was Psyche, of course. So, what better way to cosplay him than to make him into like a, I don't know how to say it properly, Gyaru? That's how I want him to be, right? And I remember that one episode where it was like the female Psyche King. So I was like, that's perfect. So I'm going to do like the female Psyche King, but she's going to be Gyaru. And I kind of, it's not going to be like, it's going to be Gyaru-esque. It's not going to be full Gyaru because that takes a lot of work, and I don't really want to do all that. And I know with Psyche K, he's not going to want to do all that. So it's just going to be kind of like a simple Gyaru-esque, Gyaru-inspired cosplay. Um, so I'm going to get the school bag, and instead of the school bag, I want to get like a very old, like old school Coach bag and decorate it with like, you know how they have like the little foxtail and things like that. And one reason why I did not want to do Psyche Case, my least favorite color of all is pink. I don't like pink, right? So I know that I'm gonna have to get like the little alien things that he has on his head, and his hair is pink. I'm gonna have to just suck it up and deal with it. But to combat that, I am going to get purple accessories for my Coach bag because yes, it's going to be my school bag, but I feel like to make it more Gyaru esque and Gyaru inspired, I'm going to get a Coach bag and go from there. And you're like, you're gonna spend that much money on a Coach bag? No, I'm getting like a cheap Coach bag. Hopefully, I can find like a black one, like an early 2000s black Coach bag that I could use for my school bag for that day when I take pictures, and just like decorate it with purple accessories and then go from there. Now, for this one, I might have to make it. And I say might because my image for it, I know that the female Sakike, she has like a long sleeve, and I want it to be short sleeve. And another thing is of course I'm in Japan, and they probably won't have my size for the outfit that I need. So that being said, will either have to buy one and alter it, or I will have to make it like from scratch. And I don't really want to make it from scratch considering it's just a school uniform, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, these I'll post it kind of like here or here somewhere. It's kind of like the vision that I'm having for Psyche K, and that is one that I'm really excited for doing, and especially taking pictures of, because I want to take pictures in Shibuya in front of like the Shibuya 109 building. I feel like that's like the perfect place to do it. That, and also from the fact that why not take pictures in Shibuya? Shibuya is like, if you can't tell, my favorite city to go to for anything. That and Roppongi, but we're not going to get into that right now. Yeah, so I want to take pictures in front of Shibuya, and just have a good time with that. And that will be one cosplay that I have scratched off of my bucket list of cosplays that I've been meaning to do, but I just never got around to doing it. All right, so let's move on to my third cosplay, which is my third cosplay is when I will also be in Halloween. No, I'm sorry. My third cosplay will be Inosuke. Yes, sorry, I jumped over. I jumped the gun a little bit too far ahead. Inosuke is my second one. This is another one that has been on my list for a while, and I've never got around to doing it. One reason why I've never got around to doing it was actually two reasons. One, the helmet, the little pig head. I don't want to get like a rubber pig head. I want like a fur pig head. And I want it to look like a pig head, right? And the ones that I'm seeing online, it's like, I don't like it, right? And the thing is yes, I can make my own, but I've never made something of that nature before. So it's going to be very difficult for me to do it. But buying it, I want it to be like, I want it to look like an actual pig head, right? I don't want it to look weird and cartoonish. And you're like, well, Inosuke is cartoonish. And I'm like, I get that. But I don't want it to look like that. So I might do it without the pig head, but I really want a pig head because I think it would just be fun to do. That and the swords. I didn't want to get Inosuke's sword before I got Shura's sword from Blue Exorcist, but now that I have her sword, I can go ahead and get more swords. So I'm just going to go ahead and get Inosuke's twin swords and go from there. Back then, I was the type of cosplayer that was like, I gotta make everything. I gotta make everything. But now I'm like, you don't have to make the sword. You don't have to make the sword. I remember when I cosplayed Asta from Black Clover, and I made his swords. And I made them, I could say that I made them fairly well for a person who has never made a sword before. But I've come to realize that Asta would probably be like the only sword that I would actually make. But Inosuke is a sword that I would buy because it's like, it's cheaper that way, if it makes sense. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and buy his swords. But now I'm in another issue where I am in Japan, right? Inosuke doesn't wear a shirt. And I'm like, okay, cool. Female Inosuke should just put like a gauze around. And I don't mind wearing like a gauze, okay? They're not going to allow that. One, I have tattoos. Two, that's too much skin exposed. So it's like you have to figure out a way to cover it up. So my whole thing is, it's because I'm wearing it in the summer. Yes, I could put a t-shirt on over it or like a button up on over it. But like when I wear cosplays, especially when I was wearing them in America, I wanted to be that character, right? I wanted to walk around as that character. And I couldn't and I can't really get into being that character if I'm walking around with a jacket on the whole time, right? And that's not really that much of a problem. It's just kind of like one of those pet peeves of mine, I guess. But yeah, that'll be a bridge that we cross when we get there. But yeah, my image for Inosuke, of course, I'm gonna still have the same outfit that he wears. Another problem that I'm gonna have is like the shoes. He has these kind of shoes. And this is probably going to be like another cosplay that I'll have to buy and alter. Just because this is all it is. This is all it is. So it'll probably be a cheap cosplay. But that being said, the shoes, we'll have to figure out what to do there. But as far as keeping everything the same, the only thing that I want to change is his hairstyle. And if you've been following me, especially on Instagram, I like to make things in my own image, right? And Inosuke, while he does have everything that I want him to have, one thing that I do want to change is his hair. I want to give him locks, right? And I say that because I'm thinking, theoretically, this is a boy that does not care for proper hygiene, right? This boy does not care for any type of he takes care of himself, right? He's healthy. He can fight, proper hygiene he probably won't do. So I guess one way to alleviate some type of stress when it comes to his hair, he would probably lock up his hair. So I'm going to put his hair in locks rather than the short hair that he typically has. And I'm also glad that I live in Japan because I can easily get green contacts for brown eyes because everybody's eyes here are brown. So I can find that easily. But the only thing that I'm probably going to change is his hairstyle because I just think it would be cooler that way. Yeah. The next person that is on my list, what is this? Like the fourth person, I believe, is Ryusui from Doctor Stone. And Ryusui is like a maybe cosplay because yes, I do want to do him, but he's not like at the top of my list. So if I don't get him done this year, I won't be that upset. However, Ryusui from Dr. Stone is one person that I want to do. And I have to say that I want to do him because he kind of slightly reminds me of Inosuke. And I'm not sure why, but maybe it's kind of like that wild nature of him. He kind of reminds me of him. I can't really put my tongue on it because I haven't watched the anime in a minute. I have to like rewatch it. But there's something about Ryusui and Inosuke that I'm just like, yeah, I gotta cosplay him. But yeah, so just like with all my cosplays, I am going to change up some certain things. Instead of doing like a male Ryusui, I'm going to do the female Ryusui, right? And in Doctor Stone, a lot of the girls' outfits are like very short. And I like very short outfits, so I'm not opposed to that at all, right? So he is a sailor. He's a sailor. He's rich. He's a sailor. He's rich. You know, things of that nature. One thing that I do want to change is his hairstyle. I'm black. I feel like if I were to be sailing the seven seas, I probably wouldn't have time to deal with my hair. Okay, so I would probably put it in cornrows and put a headscarf on. So that is what I'm going to do with Ryusui. I'm going to put the blonde hair in a headscarf, and I'm going to make his typical little sailor's hat. It works, right? I also kind of, yes, I want his outfit to be short, but I also want to kind of bring in more nautical themes, mostly like African American centered nautical themes. Um, but I'm not really sure how I want to create that whole look yet. Because in the show, they make clothes so that it lasts, right? Not much for style, but mostly for it to last because you're surrounded by nature. You're not in 2025 anymore. You're not in 2008 anymore, right? You're like in more primitive state, a more primitive nature. So what would you wear as like a sailor so that your clothes can last, but at the same time give the same essence or say the same style as what you would see? You know what I'm trying to say? Maybe you don't. I don't really know either, but I'm still trying to think about Ryusui, which is why I say that if I don't do him next year, it's okay because I haven't really planned him out as much as I want to. But yeah, that's another person that is on my list. The next person or the next cosplay that I want to do is next year I'm planning to go to Brazil. Hopefully I can still go. But yeah, next year I'm planning to go to Brazil. So I was like, what better way to take pictures or commemorate my trip in Brazil than to cosplay Hinata from Haikyuu, right? So it won't be like a full on, his uh his volleyball uniform. It won't be all of that. It's going to kind of like be like a small cosplay. Kind of like I want to, because I don't think I don't think I can buy this online. I'm going to end up making a kind of like a Kara Suno inspired bikini. And then also like a crop top to go with it. And I'm going to have braids, of course, and Hinata's hair color. And then take pictures with that. Something simple, something light. It's not really like Inosuke or Ryusui or Simio, but it is a little bit like a cosplay, so I'm going to consider it a cosplay. This is another one that I've been wanting to do since the panel came out with that he was in Brazil when he did it. So I was like, oh, I have to go to Brazil and cosplay Hinata in Brazil. Now I know that there is versions of when he was in Brazil, and he was practicing and playing in Brazil. I might do that. I might not. I haven't really decided. I just have to figure out, the trip first before we do the cosplays. So before I add any more on, I'm just gonna do like the basic swimsuit Hinata cosplay. The next one that I want to do, which is why I'm excited to go to Brazil, is Senku. This is a little spoiler, so if you don't want to listen to this one, you can skip. Um, Maybe a couple minutes before, who knows? But for those who do know, Senku is traveling to Brazil. Yeah. So what better way to go to Brazil and take pictures than to go to Brazil and take pictures as Senku? Yeah. So what I want to do is, and this is going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy reach, but I was like, who else would do this? Who else would do this? So I want to go into the forest of Brazil. I think it's Tijuana National Forest. Yeah. And I want to go there and take pictures in the forest. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe you should not do that. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing too, because you have enough animals and insects in that forest that even right where I am now, I'm scared about even thinking about it. The spiders, the bugs, I don't really want to do it. But I'm like, why not go ahead and do it? So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm still trying to do my research to figure out how I could achieve that goal without ruining the forest. Yeah. And without ruining myself. Yeah. So, more on that part, like the photography part, when we get there. But that is something that is really like setting me in my goal to get to Brazil, because I need to do that to get it out of my head. I already have like a visualization of what I want. I just need to be able to apply it, right? Another thing is that on my Brazil trip, more than likely my aunt will be coming with me, so she will be thinking that I'm probably crazy for going into a forest taking pictures and cosplay. I can already imagine the mosquito bites now, but it's all for the cosplay, right? That being said, let's just reel it back into Senku. What do I want him to look like? Like I said with Ryusui, the girls in the show have shorter outfits. I do want to incorporate that into Senku's style. Now, I know just like with Demon Slayer and Psyche K, there's like a female version of Senku. I don't want that one. Right? So I am going to kind of do like Tinkerbell, the dress style, the skirt style for Tinkerbell. I want to put that as the skirt style for Senku. And just like with Inosuke, I don't think that Senku would take care of his hair if it were out, right? Like an afro. So I'm also going to be putting locks in his hair. Um, because it's low maintenance. Two, it's also because his hair is like a little cabbage, right? So yes, you can technically just keep it as an afro, but I think because his is like one here, one here, and then you got like here, a couple of strands of hair in the front of your face. I kind of want to put them in locks and then put them up in ponytails. Okay, so you have one here, and then you have a couple hanging in the front, so it can still mimic the shape of Senku's actual hair, but also kind of giving it more of my type of personality, right? And you're probably like, if you like locks so much, why don't you lock your own hair? I don't like locks. I don't. I just like the idea that because it is low maintenance, such and such character will have it. That's all. That's all. I don't like locks. Right? My brother had locks. I did not like them. I don't like locks. Right? Nothing personal, just don't like them. So that being said, we have Hinata and Senku. All right, and then the last ones we're going to do is Hinata and Senku. My Halloween cosplays. Yes, my Halloween cosplays. Right. So the Halloween cosplays, I have two cosplays that I have planned for Halloween next year. That is Gojo and Granny Seiko. We'll just do Granny Seiko first because I will be doing her first before I do Gojo, which will be my last cosplay of that year. I think. But anyways, Granny Seiko, I'm going to be doing the yellow dress with the baseball shirt. Those are going to be thrifted items because I don't really want to make a sweater. I also don't want to buy a brand new sweater. Um, and I live in an area where there are majority of the people here are like fairly older. So the thrift store by my house carries a lot of sweaters, mostly sweaters for older people. And in the men's section, they do have like big sweaters, so I can take it and alter it so that it looks more like a dress. Now, a lot of it's in Asian sizes, so it's not going to be like big, but I do want it to be enough so that it can go at least like maybe mid thigh, and then I can alter it in. That's all I need, because I want it to be more of like a sweater dress than an oversized sweater, and then you can put the whatever baseball team I find over top. Okay. As far as the hair, I've seen a lot of different versions. You've had locks, you have the actual hair, this, that, and third. I'm going to do a head wrap. It's simple, it's easy, and then I'll just finish off the style with like a red ribbon. And now, when I first saw Granny Seiko, when I first watched Dananan, I already had the assumption that hair that she has, it's a head wrap. And I said that because it's like I think she's 80? She's an 80-year-old grandma that practices witchcraft. In my eyes, a lot of witchcraft and a lot of people who do voodoo, a lot of people who participate in that, they wear head wraps. So I'm gonna put her in a head wrap. Why? It's just as simple as that, right? It's as simple as that, right? Especially when you see like videos and movies of people, or what is that? American Horror Story, Coven, movies like that, videos like that, where you look at people who practice voodoo in Louisiana. They always have a head wrap. I'm gonna give her a head wrap. Yeah. It's just as simple as that, right? And then I have to find like a red ribbon to wrap around, I guess, to hold everything together. But yeah, that's what that is going to be. Yeah, nothing more, nothing less. Now, I think in the show she wore flip flops, but because I know that in October the weather is a little bit unpredictable and it can rain, I'm probably going to switch it to like regular tennis shoes. because I don't want my feet getting wet, and I like to go out and party in like places like Shinjuku and Shibuya. And just like I wouldn't wear flip flops in New York, I'm not wearing flip flops in Shinjuku or Shibuya because I don't know what I'm gonna step in. I don't know what's gonna splash on me. I don't want that on my feet. I'm already a girl that likes to wear no shoes in the house, so I'm definitely not gonna have that carry into my residence. So yeah. Anyways, last but not least, we have Gojo. Now I have slightly cosplayed Gojo before when Jujutsu Kaisen first came out, but I never actually took pictures of him. I had the whole contacts and everything, but I never took pictures of him. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for um, Halloween. And I'm debating whether or not I want to get the contacts. Because I probably shouldn't because I'm only doing it for like partying. But just I guess for picture wise I might get them. But we'll see what happens. Now I am going to put his hair in locks. I know what I said. It's low maintenance, it's this, that, and the third. Now, I'm only putting Gojo in locks because of the fan art. Right? Because of the fan art. Because I can do the straight hair. I can do like maybe short hair. I can give him his actual hairstyle. But I was like, why not just put him in locks? Because I have what, like four, maybe three characters next year that I'm already planning on putting in locks. So why not just go ahead and put him in locks and call it a day, right? So I'm gonna put him in locks. And as far as this outfit, I am going to be doing like a female Gojo. So I do want him to kind of wear the same skirt as Shoko, the doctor. When they were in the training in the high school, yeah, her uniform, it's going to kind of look like her uniform. If anything, it's going to be her uniform, just adult Gojo, if that makes sense. So it's not going to be like the school student uniform. It's going to be Gojo's uniform, but with the skirt. And I'm trying to debate whether or not I want to add the stockings too, but I might not. Who knows? It probably depends on the temperature that day. But yeah, that's another one that I'm excited for because hopefully, if everything goes through right, I'll have my friends joining me for next year. And we're all planning on graduating. We're all planning on cosplaying somebody from Jujutsu Kaisen. And another thing that I want to do is take pictures inside Shibuya Station. And that in itself is going to be hectic as hell. Shibuya Station has become a more popular area, mostly because of Jujutsu Kaisen. So one, there are going to be a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen cosplayers there that want to take pictures. There are going to be people there that just want to take pictures in Shibuya Station. It is going to also be a place that's going to be very backed up because if you don't know, they heavily kind of police the area so that there is a easy flow. And I say easy flow because I don't really think it's that easy of a flow, but they want to do like an easy like walk flow in Shibuya Station. So it's going to be very crowded there, right? So it's Halloween. People are going to the club. People are going out for Halloween. People are trying to go home, you know. So I do want to take pictures in Shibuya Station. However, I want to do it without disrupting the flow of the station. Right? Whenever I take pictures, I am very mindful of my surroundings. I'm very mindful of the things that are around me because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen. And you can't just set up a tripod in the middle of a public space like Shibuya Station, take pictures, and think that it's going to go smoothly because 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, it might not, right? You got the police that might stop you. You got maybe like a rush hour that could happen at any time. Trains could get delayed, this, that, and the third. So you don't really know what's gonna happen. My whole thing is that I want to take pictures, but I just want to make sure that I'm not interrupting the flow. Either way, I do have some areas in Shibuya Station that I want to take pictures at, and I do have some areas outside of Shibuya Station that I want to take pictures at. Um, so hopefully I could do those, and then actually be done with Gojo. Maybe, who knows? But that being said, that is those are all my cosplays for 2026. A little insight into 2027. Maybe I want to go back to doing my ball gowns. And hopefully for the last time, for the final last time, I could do Anastasia, redo Anastasia, and finally be done with her. I always, whenever I do Anastasia, I always like redo her rather than just wearing her for what she is. But the gold dress I have redone at least 2 3 times now. 2 times, 2 3 times now, and I'm so ready to have it retired. But every time I look at like maybe a wedding trend or something that goes with a ball gown, I'm like, oh, and I have to have it on Anastasia. So that's my insight for 2027, along with Princess Tiana. That will hopefully be the last time I do Princess Tiana, because Princess Tiana's dress is very tedious, especially with all the petals. I want to make hers a little bit more swampy, a little bit more nature, down south, nature-esque. But I also want to enter the what is it? Like a Southern Belle. I don't know if you see the dresses for those, but I want to put that type of aesthetic into her outfit, into her dress. But yeah, I think if anything in 2027, those are going to be like the top two dresses that I do. But yeah, no, that's about it. That's about it for all of the cosplays that I have planned for 2026. Those are probably all the plans as far as like pictures and things of that nature that I have for 2026. There is, as far as like conventions next year, I do want to try and go to Comic Heat. Now I know they say that Comic Heat in the summer you shouldn't go to because it's extremely hot, but the other ones that they have is in winter, and I am not a winter person. I'm not. I had to go out today, and I hated it. I don't like being out in the cold, so I would rather just go out in the heat. Um, and I do plan on wearing Inosuke to Comic Heat, so it will be perfect because it's hot. Um, so yeah, Comic Heat, and I think if it's not too bad, I want to go to Tokyo Comic Con next year. And another thing I want to get into is doing cosplay competitions. I know I used to do them all the time when I was in America, but it's so hard to find certain ones now. Um, I think like the only one that always pops up is the World Cosplay Summit, and you have to kind of like be a master in order to even enter uh that competition. So I want to try and do others um here in Japan or here in Tokyo. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, those that's everything that I have for this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye.